Disclaimer. The comments made in this video are intended solely for entertainment purposes and are not meant to harm or offend anyone.
Like the sort of BI and the woke mind virus is that it kills the art.
Sorry, blackmail me with advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go fuck yourself.
Booster now hovering as it aligns with the tower for catch.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
The world's wealthiest individual and space pioneer, Elon Musk, has now taken on the role of senior advisor to the President of the United States. Known for his unfiltered perspective, Musk has consistently challenged the woke agenda. Let's take a closer look at some of the key moments where Elon has stood up against it.
Let's talk a bit about your tweets, because it comes up a lot. Even today, it came up in anticipation of this. I mean, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's election interference.
This interviewer tries to press Elon Musk with tough questions, attempting to catch him off guard. But watch closely as Elon skillfully shuts the reporter down with his quick wit and confident responses, leaving no room for doubt.
Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. Well, I'm looking for it because I want to make sure I quote it properly. But I mean, you know what you wrote. But you basically.
I said it reminds me of Magneto. It's just like, calm down, people. This is not like made a federal case out of it.
You also you said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. like, when you do something like that, do you
I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you? Why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it widely? I mean,
this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite.
Do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man, or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet?
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money, offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
One of the reasons people admire Elon is because he's a strong believer in freedom of speech. This next clip highlights that belief when Elon is asked about advertisers leaving Twitter due to his so-called anti-Semitic tweets.
And arguably to those who are anti-Semitic, for that, I'm quite sorry. That was not my intention. So I did, post on my primary timeline to be absolutely clear that I'm not anti-Semitic, and that I, in fact, if anything, am philo-Semitic. And the trip to Israel was planned before any of that happened. It was neither here nor there. Do you see this thing? Mm-hmm. Do you know what it is?
I do, because I actually followed your entire trip to Israel.
Right.
Why don't you tell everybody?
This says bring them home. The hostages. It was given to me by the parents of one of the hostages. And I said I would wear it as long as there was a hostage still remaining. And I have.
what was that trip like? And obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Freedom of speech is a fundamental right, and Elon Musk is dedicated to protecting it on Twitter. In an upcoming interview, Musk faces tough questions from the interviewer about censorship on the platform, discussing the delicate balance between free expression and preventing harmful content.
Do you think if you moderated yourself more, if there was better content moderation on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the great replacement theory as it relates to
don't have to answer these questions.
The great replacement theory as it relates to Jewish people? Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think, do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
You don't care?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I don't think people should care what the media thinks about them. They're terrible judges of character.
You recently called content moderation, though, a digital chastity belt. Do you think that, you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform?
I think we have a responsibility to adhere to the law, and we have a responsibility to be transparent about when things are shown, why they're shown. So that's why we open source our algorithm. I think once you start going beyond the law, now you're putting your thumb on the scale, and we don't want to put our thumb on the scale.
You're putting your thumb on the scale for moderating hate speech. I mean, you don't put out child pornography. That's not.
It's illegal.
Some people would say that's considered censorship. I'm just saying, you.
No, I literally, Don, you know, I literally said, if something is legal, okay, we will obviously remove it.
We don't agree on this.
Yes, you want censorship and I don't.
No, I don't want censorship at all.
Yes, you do.
No, I want responsibility. I think there.
You desperately want censorship?
No, if I want a censorship.
You want censorship so bad you can taste it.
No, that's not true. It's not true. I think that there's right and wrong. And I think that,
you want censorship.
and
Elon effortlessly shut down the interviewer, pointing out how their real agenda was pushing for censorship. Next, we turn to Elon Musk and Jordan Peterson. What Elon says next might leave you feing disheartened.
I mean, well, it sort of like the nameless issue. It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. You know, I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he didn't.
That was a lie right from the outset. No reliable clinician ever believed that. There was never any evidence for that. And also, if there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety, and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too. And they're too cowardly to come out and say it.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison. You know, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. I lost my son, essentially. So, you know, they call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Elon and Jordan continue their in-depth conversation about their views on gender surgery. As they explore the topic further, they share their insights and opinions on the matter. Let's take a closer look at what they have to say.
The so-called gender-affirming care, which is a terrible euphemism.
That's for sure.
It's really a child sterilization is what it should be.
No, there's mutilation too.
Mutilation.
Yeah, well, we want to make sure that amalgam is...
Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's child mutilation and sterilization.
Yeah. Under the guise of gender-affirming care and compassion.
Right.
Right. I
It's evil.
literally
I think
can't
it's evil.
imagine anything worse than that.
Yes, it's evil. I mean, you're taking kids who are obviously often far below the age of consent.
Yep. Confused, miserable.
Almost every child goes through some kind of identity crisis.
It's part of puberty.
Exactly. It's just part of growing up. For adults to manipulate children who are having a natural identity crisis into believing that they are the wrong gender.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that they need to be the other gender, or they need to be a boy, or boy needs to be a girl, and that
will solve all their problems.
And that will solve their problems, and give them sterilizing drugs, which are called also a misnomer, puberty blocker. These are sterilization drugs, so they can never have children again.
Yeah.
Can have double mastectomies, the mutilation.
Have their forearms stripped to build non-functioning penises.
I mean, we have an age of consent for a reason. That the reason you can't get, say, tattoos below age 18, or drink, or drive. There are ages at which you can do things, because if we allow children to take permanent actions when they're 10, 12, 14 years old, they will do things that they subsequently greatly regret.
As more influential voices like Elon Musk speak out, the so-called woke agenda will soon fade. Like the video, if you believe in free speech, hit subscribe to see more moments where the woke agenda is challenged.